Today and over the next few videos, I'm going to share a few tips that will help you combat pandemic fatigue. It's a follow-on from my other videos, so if you're new or if you haven't seen the other videos in the playlist yet, I'd recommend that you watch them in order. If you're interested, keep watching. Hi and welcome back. My name is Dr. Fiona Roach. Today we're going to follow on from the last video and look at more things that you can do to better cope with and combat pandemic fatigue. Let's get right into it. Okay, so tip number 3, get more sleep. Sleep should be thought of as nutrition for the brain. And it's not just about quantity. Quality also matters. Both quality and quantity of sleep directly affect how we feel and how we perform on a daily basis. Okay, so there are two main types of sleep, REM and non-REM. REM sleep stands for rapid eye movement sleep, and non-REM sleep stands for non-rapid eye movement sleep. During REM sleep, the brain is very active. The eyes move back and forth, the body becomes immobile and relaxed, and dreaming occurs. And during non-REM sleep, which takes up a good amount of nighttime sleep, up to about 3/4 of nighttime sleep in fact, this does not happen because it represents a much deeper state of sleep. And non-REM is actually divided into 3 stages based on the depth of sleep. And the important thing here is that the deepest and the most restorative sleep, the sleep that really counts, actually happens in the last stage of non-REM sleep. So what this means is that unfortunately there's no cutting corners when it comes to sleep, and that there's no way around a good night's sleep. Sleep helps with pandemic fatigue in a number of ways. Sleep improves our attention, our focus, decision-making ability, and daytime performance. So I'm sure we can all remember times when we may have gotten either very little sleep at all or poor quality sleep for whatever reason. Maybe we just stayed up late at night binge watching a series on Netflix. Maybe we were just not able to get to sleep and we spent much of the night tossing and turning. Or perhaps a neighbour's dog kept us up with an all-night yipping session. Whatever the reason, the next day we usually feel groggy, tired, and almost hungover from lack of sleep. At home then, what does this translate to? We might find ourselves almost reaching out to put orange juice in our cornflakes instead of milk. We might be that little bit more clumsy gathering our things together as we leave the house to get to work. And at work, if we're faced with a number of tasks, we might feel disproportionately overwhelmed because we simply can't prioritize tasks. Sleep also gives our brain time to make sense of and consolidate various information that we received during the day, deciding what is useful and what to discard, what we can throw into the recycle bin. In this way, it enhances our memory and our recall. So maybe you can remember back to a time when you were a student, or maybe you're a student now, maybe you're going through it right now, and say you did an all-nighter for midterm exams and you didn't get a good night's sleep because you spent all night cramming. I'm sure you probably found that it was harder actually to remember all the things you just studied the night before. Say if you compared it maybe to a night when you actually did have a good night's sleep. And it doesn't even have to be an exam. Say for example, we probably all have gone to school and maybe the night before we didn't get a good night's sleep. We probably found it harder to concentrate. Our minds wandered and we had frequent daydreams, and that got us into trouble with our teacher. The bottom line is that it's hard to concentrate and it's hard to remember things with little or no sleep. Sleep also allows us to process our emotions. It helps us to better regulate our mood by allowing us to put emotional experiences into context. So if we don't get enough good quality sleep, we might find that if a friend bails out of meeting up for coffee, say, we might get disproportionately upset or annoyed with them. Or say if you're at work and your manager is giving you some constructive feedback, you can't just take it for what it is and move on with some degree of learning. You take it to heart. Maybe you let it ruin your day. Maybe you let it ruin your week. Or maybe even find yourself thinking, well, I'll give as good as I get next time it's my turn to give feedback. Sleep even helps with the physical signs of pandemic fatigue, primarily through its counter effects on cortisol, the stress hormone. We are less likely to suffer with headaches, tiredness, dizziness, and even overeating if we get a good night's sleep. Sleep also gives us time to replete our energy levels, undergo self-repair, and helps with our immunity, because it is during sleep that the immune system releases cytokines that help fight inflammation and infection. Ensuring that you have a good night's sleep is actually very important to weight loss. Poor sleep negatively influences endocrine function, and by endocrine function I mean the hormonal balance and function in the body, and this can lead to poor eating. It can also increase your appetite and cravings, and also lead to bigger portions of food. Poor sleep is associated with high levels of ghrelin, a hunger hormone produced by the gut. This nasty little hormone comes out at night like a little gremlin, particularly if you've gone past your sleep window. It makes you feel very hungry, and because you've lost sleep, you have weaker decision-making capacity, so you tend to cave in more readily to your cravings, and you decide to go for that nighttime snack, even though your body probably doesn't even need it. Ghrelin causes overeating, and if that wasn't bad enough, it makes you crave calorie-dense foods, the worst sort of foods to eat in the middle of the night. Poor sleep is also associated with low levels of leptin, the satiety or fullness hormone. Low levels of leptin mean that the body will not feel full, so it triggers a hunger response. So high levels of ghrelin and low levels of leptin are partners in crime, and they will cause you to overeat. So the thing to remember here is that sleep is a good all-rounder at combating all the telltale signs of pandemic fatigue. You might say, well, that's well and good, but how can I actually get more sleep? Join me next time and I'll tell you exactly how to do just that. And some of the tips might surprise you. Make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and let me know what your thoughts are on sleep. How much sleep do you get, say, in a day, and do you feel that it's enough? Do you feel that quality is just as important as quantity? Let me know in the comments below, and see if you can guess some of my tips on how to get a good night's sleep. I'll leave it at that for today. Bye guys. Take care.